Hey everyone. So a couple of you have asked about number 5, and it's a real good one to go over. So I want to take a minute and actually help you with it. I'm not going to complete the whole thing, but I'm just going to get you started. Okay, so let's take a look. First thing, this biggest triangle. The biggest triangle. You can never assume that you have a right angle. If we add 45 and 30, that does not equal 90, which means this angle here will not be 90. So this is not a right triangle. Therefore, we can't immediately jump into using our sine, cosine, and tangent when it's not a right triangle. So let's look at the two triangles individually. If we think about x, so we're ignoring this triangle and looking at this one. I don't know the length of this side, and I don't know the length of that side. So currently, I can't solve for x. I need a side length. So I look at this one. Cover that one. Same idea though. I only know one side length. I don't have this. I don't have this. Because y is the length of this entire side, that's not really helpful. So what you have to do, so what we really need to do is find one of the unknown sides. Find a side that it's not asking for. So I recommend finding this side length because this side length is also a part of that triangle. So this particular side length will help us with both of them. So I'm gonna call this one W. You could call it whatever you want. So because I have a side length for this triangle, I'm going to use 30 for my angle, 34 for one of my sides, and that's going to help me find W. So let's think about this. From the angle, I have the opposite side. This is the opposite. And I have the hypotenuse. So which trig function uses the opposite and hypotenuse? That would be sine. So you set it up as sine of the angle is the opposite side, so W, over the hypotenuse. And now we can solve for this. Let's solve for W. You always multiply by what's in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 34. That will cancel here, leaving me with just W. But what we do to one side, we do to the other. So I have to multiply this side by 34. Let me show you how to do that in a calculator. Let's see. So here's that online calculator I told you about a while ago. This is the Desmos scientific calculator. So if you don't have a calculator at home, this is what I recommend you use, or any online calculator, honestly. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna type in 34. Yeah. So 34. And then over here, you can see that we have sine, cosine, tangent. Well, I'm using sine. And inside the parentheses, you put the angle. And the angle was 30. So that's telling us that W is 17. So that means this here, this side length here, is 17. Now you might be asking, why is that helpful? And I'll tell you. This is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now, I hope that sounds familiar, but it does take you back to geometry. A 45, 45, 90 triangle means that two sides are congruent. Two sides are the same. So if this side length is 17, that also means this side is 17. Now, no, that doesn't give us the whole length, but that's helpful because now we can still use either 34 or we can do 17, and we can find the remaining side length. So you can think of that as Z. You can find Z using your 30. And then once you get the value for Z, you would add 17 to it. So that will get you Y. And then if we look at X, we now know what this is. So from 45, we can use, again, the opposite and the hypotenuse to get us X. So think about what trig function you can use for that one as well. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have more questions. Like I said, this was just going to get you started. You have to finish it. So finish solving for X, finish solving for Y. I'm here if you need me. Good luck.